morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining this from. Thank you for joining today's session. Today's webinar is Security for AI, Safeguarding the Future with Cygeniq. My name is Manish Dev, and I'll be your host for today's session. I'm also the co-founder and chief business officer at Cygeniq. Before we get started, here are a few quick notes. First of all, this session will be recorded and shared with all the registrants so that you have a reference after this meeting. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat or Q&A sections at the top of your screen, and we will address them during the live discussion. So getting started into today's topic, I'm sure everybody is keeping up to the brace with what's happening with the artificial intelligence or AI in short. It's significantly changing the way we work. And as you can imagine, securing AI is becoming a growing challenge. So with that being said, I would like to invite our chief guest and speaker today, Prasenjit Saha. Before I introduce Prasenjit has been in the industry for 30 years in global cybersecurity. He's worked with firms like ABB, Wipro, Happiest Minds, and Mindtree. And he has played a key implemental role into kind of shaping up these security standards across the globe. So Prasenjit, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Manish. Good morning, good afternoon, based on where you are, and even good evening. Thanks for discussing this. Today, we want to discuss security for AI. I mean, safeguarding the future, of course, because AI is happening today. Most probably the new focus, and how do we safeguard it? So that is our topic today, security for AI. And in other words, you can say even AI for security is both the way. So that's what we are going to discuss. And while I start this, over to you, Manish, if you want to add any points in terms of any challenges that you see, and then I can elaborate that further.
Yeah, so it's one thing I'm hearing, Prasenjit, and maybe you can bring this up. I'm sure when you talk to your customers and clients across the globe, they're talking about, what are the real world problems with the AI adoption. So when you are sharing your point of view over the next few minutes, I think it will be very helpful if I'm a customer who is into a greenfield environment, which means have no AI adoption today, versus I'm a customer who has tried a few things on the AI, but still struggling to get it right. So maybe bring those two examples from a greenfield and a brownfield perspective into, what typical challenges they are seeing and how probably, what are the needs for them to address.
Thank you, Manish. So let us go ahead and decipher, the security challenges in AI for security and security for AI. Let me take the reference of a slide and we'll talk about it. But most important point, as you say, greenfield. That is no longer true. I mean, if you look at today, there is at least among all the Fortune 2000 companies, at least one AI applications are in production, and it will grow to 86%, and it will be more than 4. So there will be hardly any greenfield. You will all have brownfield where AI is live, it needs security. So that is the first thing that we should do. That yes, it is right now the time where AI security has to be addressed, and more applications will go live. Another thing that while I discuss with many customers globally, everybody's concern is security while AI is going live. So they are unprepared to handle multiple different attacks and threats, and of course, regulations. And there are no solutions that the customer sees. When I speak to the chief risk officer or chief information security officer, there are no end-to-end solutions. There are point solutions which will do some testing for certain AI controls and so on and so forth. But the regulations, standards, guidelines are very comprehensive. And there are no solutions which really address end-to-end. So first is, yes, greenfield, great news. They can absolutely do a fresh start because we have regulation, standards, everything. And if it is brownfield, nothing to worry. The problems are there and it can be sorted. So when I look at the challenges, I typically divide this as a practitioner, divide this into 3 towers. See, there are AI threats which is continuously emerging. That is one tower that we all should know. These are primarily adversarial attacks which is hurting the AI models and it can be manipulated. So these are things like prompt injection, hallucination, toxicity, bias, creating insecure output handling, creating data privacy issues and sensitive data leakage, and so on and so forth. And of course, there are sophisticated attacks which are related to model inference attack, which is also model drifting. That means you can change the behavior in runtime, and inference is manipulate the model from a good model to a rogue model, which can use toxic words and all of that. So this type of threats are continuously emerging. There are 36 different categories and 150,000 plus threats are already recorded now within last 18 months. So it is rapid scale increase. So that is where I think we as a security practitioner really required to be aware of this particular tower, which I will categorize that as AI threats, and we have to find out solutions on a continuous basis. So there is no shortcut to this. AI is evolving. Security also has to evolve in terms of counter measures in terms of AI threats. Second thing that I have seen when I speak to the CISOs and chief risk officers, and there is a new paradigm right now on AI risk management. It is a added view on enterprise risk, and that is coming because of almost 47 countries in the world today has got their own AI regulations. And some of these regulations are focused on reliability, some of them are focused on bias, fairness, accountability, explainability, and human in the loop for each actions. So that is again another big challenges when you look at cross-border, when you look at even the models are very specific to the regions nowadays. There are some US based models, there are some China based models, there are some Europe based models, and the models are multilingual, the regulations are different. So when you look at this challenge, it is actually an AI regulations challenge. That's how I will categorize this. And this requires a specific handling because you have to understand this problem in detail and handle this problem properly. So we discussed AI threats, which is direct manipulation of AI models, AI regulations, which is the second tower, and it is keep on increasing because every country in the world now wants to be on the race of AI, and they are adopting different standards, they are issuing different regulations, and their control measures are different. It is not same. There are complete variances. So you really require to see how to address this for a global organization who is operating almost all across the globe. That's a bigger challenge. If you are operating very locally, at least you are happier in the sense that you are only addressing local issues. Now comes the third tower, which is AI driven cyber attacks. This is right now the one of the biggest worry factor for the CISO when you are running the SOC. There are a lot of sophisticated attacks which is generated in machine time. That means in milliseconds where the things are becoming polymorphic to changing the behavior completely. And this is happening because of the machine power, GenAI driven activity. And of course, a combination of APT 28 and above is what we are seeing in that spot. So now you see that this requires a human it will be very difficult for a SOC analyst to detect it and do incident management in that machine speed. So that is again another big threats that are evolving in this space, which I will always say as a AI cyber risk category. Second is also insider threats for people who are using AI models, LLMs and all of that. Accidentally also you can release and remove the controls for insecure handling and create unavoidable mistakes in the LLM for which it can give out sensitive data. A lot of incidents have happened where you have looked into that. Another part is phishing. Phishing attack has become much more sophisticated. This is observed right now. Phishing, vishing, and smishing. These three types, which is basically all social engineering kinds of attack, This is coming in the AI cyber risk category. You have to find out a lot of advanced measures in terms of detecting these kind of advanced malwares and phishing solutions. And added to that, of course, data privacy protection, their corresponding regulations will always be there as a part of additional cyber risk, because the whole objective is AI uses a lot of data, and data is the prime, and it learns through the data. It is cognitive. And if the data is polluted, that is called as data poisoned, you will also have a rogue model. So some of this has happened recently with some of the LLMs which got even released in some countries where it was termed as a rogue LLM. So you might have heard these incidents and so on and so forth. So in summary, when I look at it, challenges, AI threats, AI regulation, AI cyber risk. That is the three tower that I see that we have to tackle together in terms of addressing AI for security and security for AI. And that's the part of challenges. And I hope everybody understood this part, and we are all in the security field, I believe. So it is very important to understand this, and you will be able to add it in these categories going forward. You will know a lot of incidents are happening, you will register this, and you will be able to track these challenges. So with this, again, I will hand it over to Manish in terms of any other challenges that or any other things that we want to talk about before we go into what is Cygeniq and what we are trying to do.
This is very helpful, Prasenjit. So thank you for that. What is my kind of an eye opener is that each organization, I think you got a statistics here, which says 86% of Fortune 2000 companies, whether willingly or unwillingly, have had at least one AI app into their environment. And what it means is if they have not thought through it, they have not started putting the processes, the risk governance framework into the place, they are exposed to a much bigger the regulation penalties and all those things that come into the effect. And I know there are events happening. The local AI privacy laws are getting framed, whether you're in Canada, US, UK, whichever part of the world. So there are privacy acts, the AI privacy acts are coming in. With that being said, I will now switch over to gear, and probably I want to understand a little bit about what is Cygeniq, what do they do, and most importantly, so share your vision, what came to your mind to build this company, and most importantly, why now? So what is Cygeniq and why now? I think the two first questions I have in my mind, which I think we want to hear from you.
So before I go into Cygeniq, I think I would have already addressed why now. Majority of our customers are going live with AI and they have to do more. So you require AI security end to end. So that's why it is why now. And then let us say, and of course, there are huge amount of threats, regulations, and attacks that is coming based on AI attacks. So we have to address these challenges, and that's why it is now. And it will grow. This market problem, all of this will grow exponentially, is the current projection because of absolute growth in AI usage. So with this, let me kind of go to what is Cygeniq trying to do. So our goal is simple. We want to protect our customers for AI security challenges end to end. So it should do security for AI and AI for security. The categorization of what I was talking about, AI threats, AI regulations, AI cyber risk, and advanced attacks. That's what we want to do. Through a next generation product, we are actually building a unique large security model, which will help us put countermeasures and controls around AI threats, AI regulations, and how to address that. And similarly, how to do deep investigation and create a faster response mechanism for advanced attacks. So that's what we want to do from our product line. And yes, we see that, even with our customers who have already gone live with AI, security skills are still not that great in that organization where they have a deep knowledge on AI. Complexities are high related to threats, regulations of different natures, and control measures. So that is where we have our AI advice, which is an advisory and consulting services. which is primarily also in and around our product to make the product rollout successful and also handle the customer to address all their needs end to end, both from security for AI and AI for security. So that's what we are going to do for our customers to address the end to end challenges. Now, let us go briefly to our platforms. And then again, we'll open it up for some discussions. So these are all the high level introduction. We have our products. If you look at it, this is built on the central Cygeniq platform, which is on a large unique security model, which builds a lot of AI threat protection countermeasures library, regulation libraries, and advanced attack detection libraries. And that's the core on which we have three modules. If you look at our first module, which is Hexashield, this is primarily doing automated risk and attack platform part, which is basically nothing but a red teaming for AI. Should look at it like this. Our uniqueness here is a huge amount of prompt library, which helps in detection of different kind of threats and how to put a continuous countermeasures on top of that. So that is what is the focus of Hexashield. This will solve the organization when they are, like Manish was talking, Greenfield or Brownfield. If you have already rolled out, as I told, nothing to worry. This application and this product will integrate into your UAT testing production environment at an appropriate schedule. It will test out the behavior and what kind of associated threats are exposed to and what are the remedial measures. And if you are in Greenfield where you are trying to select the right LLM models, it will help you. We already have notes for that, which are all the greatest from the security perspective in terms of LLM criterias, and we can give advice or we can test your selected models. And then we also will be able to go along with your LLM DevSecOps lifecycle, where you get it tested as you move along your DevOps pipeline. So this is Hexashield AI, and this job is to give that assurance that yes, you have problems, but these are all the remedial measures, and these are all the different risks that we are identifying, which we require. This one, it doesn't talk about regulations, but yes, ultimately things are linked with each other. The second part is about the regulation. We are trying to address a lot of different regulations in terms of European market, North American market, be it USA and Canada. It has got its own AI acts. Multiple of them are there in US. Canada has got couple, and UK, Europe, multiple regulations are there in terms of UAI Act, UKI Act. Singapore has their own. UAE and Saudi is one of the countries which is not only have the AI Act, but they also have the AI minister. So it is imposed from mandatory perspective, not only just a fine. So people are getting really serious about regulation in terms of AI usage. So here our job is, so we are using GenAI to solve this GenAI regulation problem. So we want to see how we can use smartly the GenAI to solve the regulation, their standards and policies and control measures, and how do you actually test control effectiveness and create a unified control framework across. So this is what it will do for the help. It's like a handy tool for the compliance and the risk officer in terms of managing AI governance, risk and compliance and all the regulations, and how effective is the control and what are the remedial measures to be taken across the organization to be safe and secure. And it is automated AI GRC solution. That's what we are looking at from GRCortex perspective. And then comes the third part. And how do you address? So basically with this two, we are addressing AI threats and AI regulations. So that's our goal in terms of addressing the challenge through that same single platform, which is Cygeniq Unique NSM. Now we come to AI for security. Our job is to see how do you identify, protect, detect, and respond to advanced cyber attacks. More focus is on investigation and giving a very quick update on remedial measures. So that is the focus. be it in vulnerability, be it in threat identification. That is what we are doing in CyberTiX. So it's effectively creating a GenAI assistant for the SOC analysts, where they are kind of looking at the high-speed attacks, different polymorphic attacks. This is a machine-supported investigation which can help them reduce their timeline for putting across the remedial measures and, of course, protect data loss prevention. So that will be some of the ultimate motives of those advanced attacks, steal data from the organization. So this is what we do from the product perspective. So handing it over to you, Manish. I know we have this one. So we will go to services and then maybe we can take a pause so that you will know, because with this product, however, services will kind of help the customer in AI advice.
Perfect. So, Prasenjit, before you go to the AI advice, I do have a question, if you don't mind going back to the previous slide. And this is something, which I have seen. So, for example, I see Hexashield, you're talking about industry first, 1 million plus adversarial prompt, and, all the benefits you see. My question to you is, if I'm a customer who is, like I said, in a greenfield situation, still exploring AI, are these product modules suited for me only when I'm considering AI, or are they also good enough for me to support my legacy infrastructure or security products I'm using? I might be using, let's say, Palo Alto or whatever, ServiceNow product. How do they work in tandem with this going forward?
Yeah, so it has got no issues with any of the existing security products. It is actually on top of this. This is primarily focused on, like Hexashield and GRCortex, primarily focused on providing the solution for the AI acts and regulations. And Hexashield is also primarily focused on narrow ML and LLM models. So we are not interfering with any of the existing security set of products because those tools are not there. And that's why we are building this platform. When you look at CyberTiX, yes, people will already have their SIM and EDR and NDR and all of this running, SOAR, etc. We are doing the GenAI assistant to do the quicker, helping the SOC analyst to be fast by using machine power to do a lot of deep investigation and coming out with a quick incident response. And that's what we are doing. So we are not doing what the SIM does, what the EDR does, or an NDR does, or a PCAP does, and SOAR does. We are actually helping the SOC analyst to be much more proactive and prescriptive in terms of the cyber defense journey. It's a Gen AI assistant there. So we are not interface. We will integrate from all this security products and create insights, because that is what is required for doing the security investigation. So you're bringing it all into a one single pane. So if that answers the questions.
It does. Thank you. That's very helpful. So I think now you will get kind of switching to the AI advice, the advisory and consulting. I'll let you complete your thought on that.
Yeah, so we designed AI advice in this category where we are saying that, hey, we really require to be proactive. Let us go ahead and define what should be our AI risk and compliance strategy. So it's not a generic one. It's, as you say, it's AI. So it's completely AI driven. It's focused on AI regulation. Similarly, how do you enable? I mean, is the organization do a feasibility study? What requires to be done in terms of a normalized SOC, a general SOC monitoring and incident response to be converted to a GenAI based SOC? So yes, you require to define a standards and a framework and guardrails to make that happen. So before you even start putting a framework and a tool. And how do you actually train people and make people understand about what are the different AI regulations and skills that you require to adhere to when you operate a GenAI based security operation or GenAI based AI regulation platforms and so on and so forth. So proactive AI is basically the package which helps in customer getting ready for AI adoption for security. So that is what we do. Then we come out with the prescriptive AI model, where we talk about clear advice and framework and governance for how will you achieve governance and compliance, how will you manage your risk, adversarial risk for the models, and what kind of threat intelligence you should have well ahead in advance so that you are much more well prepared in terms of handling advanced threats. And these are all the, kind of packages that we are offering for the AI advice services. And of course, responsible AI, which is basically putting the whole life cycle and oversight that customer might be deploying certain platforms and tools for from Cygeniq, and we'll see how to get it deployed properly, well configured. And of course, as you know, that Gen AI accuracy improves over usage. Our platform is also based on Gen AI, so it is cognitive. So we require to get engaged with our customer in the life cycle to see how do we improve on the AI, Gen AI based operations. And so this is the three packages to manage the whole part in a right model for addressing AI threats and regulations and cyber risk. So that's what I will say. That's how we have designed AI advice. And we are very focused. We are not into the whole service portfolio. This is what we'll do, which will be all AI driven, automation, Gen AI, and that is the focus. So with this, I will, look at the last slide that why will really customer come to us. So as I was telling that there are multiple point solutions. There are solutions for addressing some part of AI threats, some part of AI regulation, some part of cyber risk like phishing and maybe malware and so on and so forth. So our goal is to create a unified platform for addressing AI security. And we are building it on the way of using Gen AI to solve Gen AI and Gen AI problem. And tomorrow it might become quantum AI. So that's what we will grow to. So this is what we are talking about, our proprietary large security model. And it's a SaaS-based platform, very modular. So it is ease of adoption. Customer don't require to look at all the modules all together. It's all modularized into Hexashield. And even if it is broken down into multiple packages, if you check our website, you will know what kind of modular adoption is possible. Of course, lower cost and and providing you the complete integrated and amalgamated solutions on this. And we have also added the advice, which is actually helping the customer adopt the solution in the right way and get a very quick solution. So that's how we are differentiating. We are just not selling that, hey, this is a product, you figure out what to do. This is a very new space and everybody is growing on this space. So we also have designed our AI advice where we will also learn a lot of things from our customer while doing the deployment. So that's our goal. And I think with this, we are almost coming towards the end, and we will open it for Q&As and questions.
Sure. So thank you, Prasenjit. I think the session was very insightful. Like Prasenjit said, we are now open for the Q&A. And if you have not already, please drop your questions under the chat and Q&A section. I already see a few questions popping up over here. I think the first question that I'm seeing is, are there any demonstrations available for these products that we spoke about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, please send us a mail at info@cygeniq.com and we'll start getting, demonstration for the product scheduled, and we can get into a discussions about what are you. So again, understanding the challenges and then trying to figure out the right way to solve the problem. Yes, absolutely. Answer is yes. I mean, you will have the demonstration. Please write that email to info@cygeniq.com.
Thanks, Prasenjit. The second question I see on the group chat is, and I think I probably heard you mentioning this earlier. So let's say there's a global perspective when the governance, risk, and compliance comes, the GRC comes into it. So how does Cygeniq bring the global perspective into GRCs or cyber solutions by region, by industry? Are there any examples of framework that you use for a particular industry? So that's a twofold question.
Yes, so it's what we are doing for the part of AI regulations. If you look at it, AI regulations is far more structured towards giving a global framework. We have NIST's AI RMF standards, which is generally accepted. We have some MITRE Atlas framework, etc., which is also global standards, which people can utilize. And then there are regulatory part which is actually governing the local behavior. So deriving and AI unified compliance and governance framework is a much more easier task in that process, because it is it can you will have a view of the global view based on country, region, compliances that you are impacted with in that region, and what is your control effectiveness on that. So this is definitely a easier thing to do. Now the question is, yes, there are, but as you know, the AI usage is getting localized. So threats are also getting localized. Different LLMs in different geographies has got their own different threats, which are always not logged in. And it is getting difficult for global standard organization like NISTs and all to track it. It's right now on a best of effort basis based on the contributing countries. But yes, that will remain challenge, and the way we are structured, we are actually addressing customers globally, be it in US or Canada, UK, Europe, Middle East, India, Asia Pac. At least that part of the world, we will know different sorts of AI threats and how we bring back and be cognitive about it and make our product learn. So from our global reach perspective, customer will get a benefit because they will know. But as of now, there is no central repository where you can 100% say that everything in AI threats is documented and recorded. It is happening, it should happen, and most probably we'll all get matured enough when we see more sophisticated threat is easy to be more collaborative than be very compartmentalized. So that's where I will put my answer right now, because that is the current status in the industry.
Thank you, Prasenjit. I think the next question, you probably have answered this already, but maybe I'll rephrase this in a slightly different way. I think the question was, do I need to replace my existing security products if I'm considering Cygeniq? And how will this work in green and brownfield? But probably I'll do a little bit of an extended version of this question, so that way you have a different point of view to answer. The question is, let's say if I'm a customer, I'm a CISO or a CIO, I have product sets which I'm working on, and some of these products, security products, also have an aggregator, for example, Sentinel, right? The question would be, where does Cygeniq fit into a kind of an aggregator model, for a security product like Sentinel, which I may already be using? And in that case, does it mean a dual cost or triple cost to me? Like, how can I make Cygeniq platform work with my existing infrastructure without overrunning my cost?
Yeah, so objective for AI for security platform, which is our CyberTiX, is to integrate and get insights, collect insights. Basically, we are collecting all the needles, which are basically incidents and alerts, and doing a lot of automated investigation based on our knowledge base, and helping the SOC analyst automatically getting remedial measures. So we are not trying to replace any product what the customer may already have and for which their security controls are all going on. It is basically helping the customer to detect attack faster, investigate it faster, and also respond it much faster. So that's how the platforms are working. As far as the other two platforms are concerned, there are no other platform which is there. There are hardly any real testing and all of that going on in adversarial red teaming or collaborations. So it will always be a new one, and it can coexist with any other maybe GRC solutions or any other red teaming solutions like Metasploit and all that is there, because it does not do what those platform does. It is mutually exclusive.
The next question is coming in is, are there any different AI security framework based on different types of industries, such as power, telecom, health, etc.?
See, we have not focused on it yet. I will not say that there are no security model in place or not in discussion right now in healthcare or telecom and power, etc., etc. There are a lot of discussion. There are frameworks which are in discussion and available. This will be our roadmap. maybe in coming years where we'll start getting industrialized. And industry best practices are going to evolve because of extensive usage. So we are tracking that field, and gradually from the baseline that we are doing today, which is fairly horizontal in nature, we'll also get industry-based challenges and solutions that will come in forward. It will happen as we speak, but right now it is there in our roadmap.
Thanks, Prasenjit. The next question comes in, is there a recommended engagement path for a CISO at a financial services organization? I guess maybe if I have to rephrase the question, if I'm a CISO in a financial services like a bank, for example, how do I engage with companies like Cygeniq? Do I engage them early in the process, late in the process, have team or frameworks in the place, or probably, what's the right engagement path to work with a company like Cygeniq?
Yeah, so I think the question is clear right now. See, as I told, that the engagement model is fairly flexible. We are geared up with giving advice. If the customer is looking for first advisory that, hey, what should be my right AI risk management strategy? And how should I manage my AI security lifecycle? It is coming from an AI advice model, which is actually a consulting service. And if the customer already have all of those in place, they have a risk management strategy for AI and so on and so forth. There are standards, governance. They have done some experimentation with. Everybody is in an initial stage. Then yes, I mean we can straight away get into the platform, configure. It's a SaaS platform, so configure the platform, and we have both options. We have on-premise option as well as cloud option, and start the engagement process. And yes, in that process, our responsible AI package on AI advice will help in terms of the right setup and configuring it for complete functionality.
Perfect.
That's how
so I'll
we
take
will
probably. Thanks, Prasenjit. So I'll take probably last two more questions. So the second last question I see is, if a client wants to get a SOC 2 assessment, and this is for a US-based customer which has his, offshore operations in India, how do they go about it and do it with Cygeniq? So scenario is US customer, India operations, how do you get a SOC 2 assessment?
No, I mean, we are not into the SOC 2 assessment part of the regulation. We are talking about European AI Act, UK AI Act, and Algorithmic Act, or PADA from Singapore, and all of those specialized AI regulations. So when you have those kind of needs, that is when our AI advice and our AI GRCortex and Hexashield and all of this will help. We are not into SOC 2 regulations or are audited and all of that, and we don't want to go there at this time, because these are all existing services which are there from in industry for ages. And it's not that our platform cannot do it, but we are not into it right now.
Thank you. There was one question which is coming out about our product roadmap from Cygeniq. So I think on a slide you showed about Hexashield, GRCortex, and the CyberTiX. And the question there is, what future developments or innovations are coming in those platforms, and how will they be introduced in the field of AI cybersecurity? So I think this question is more specific to the CyberTiX, but maybe they're looking for a future development roadmap.
Yeah, so future development roadmap, one is each of these products has got their own future development roadmaps. AI threats are increasing and getting more sophisticated. If you look from that, Hexashield will grow into more of sophisticated attacks on model drifting and observability, continuous monitoring for model inference and data insecure data handling and output guardrails, etc. So this is where the sophisticated attacks are happening, and hence we'll start focusing on that journey. If you look at regulations, we are seeing regulations which are getting more stringent in terms of controls. And how do you actually do real-time control into bias detection and ethics problem detection and fix it? And how do you actually control the output handling from while you incidentally detect that model is hallucinating. So how do you control it? So those runtime behavior will become the focus of GRCortex. Similarly, CyberTiX, we will focus more on advanced detection techniques and investigation and automated incident response going forward, to which will give rise to a cyber digital twin. So you can do simulations and investigation at the same time. So that's where our roadmap is. It is again categorized into, as I speak about, related to AI threats and regulations and cyber risk. And based on the way the market is moving, we will also evolve our roadmap. And of course, in conjunction with our customers. And we have to see what our customer looks at and then adjust it like that. But based on all the current feedback, this is what is there in the roadmap for next 18 months. And
Thanks,
of course,
Prasenjit.
and it is so fast changing, so things will get added in next 6 months. There will be some modulations and modifications that will happen. No doubt on that.
Perfect. Thank you. So I think there are no more questions I see here on the chat and Q&A. So I do want to thank you, and people on the call, thank you so much for attending today's session. If there is anything, I would highly recommend you to go to Cygeniq AI, look up for all these product features, services, what's happening. There's a few views. And like Prasenjit said, you can either contact us through the info@cygeniq.com, or you can fill up the web form on the Cygeniq AI, and somebody from our team will contact you. With that being said, I want to thank everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the afternoon or evening. And we will come back next week with next month with an updated topic. So watch out for that update on our LinkedIn page. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining the call.